So today is the 16th of November 2021. I channeled some information through, and first up, before we get into anything, I'll just go over a couple of housekeeping things. So I'm an intuitive counselor and a psychic reader. If you want to get, have a Zoom with me, just go on my website, www.codes-to-a-new-reality.com, and you'll see intuitive counselor. Click on that and you'll be able to access some intuitive readings, counseling. I do a lot of channeling when I read for you, connect you to your higher self, what your mission is, where you can go, what's your potential, what's your gifts coming, that sort of thing. Also, I've created a new product. New product is called Fortune Dice. So this is the little book that comes with it. It has a whole heap of layouts, and it has what each meaning of each number is. The dice, there's 3 dice. I've decided to put 3 dice of these numerology dice in the bag because it's just easier to throw and see the actual numbers and read the story as you go. And then my leap of faith dice. Now, these leap of faith dice can only be activated once one of these dice fall on 0. And the reason why that is because these are new age dice. So these are activations into the new frequencies, into Aquarius frequency that we're coming into. So we're lining up with our true potential of who we are. So that's my beautiful product. That is also going to be on an Etsy store. I just opened an Etsy store, so there's only that product on there at the moment, but I'm going to also put my books on there too. Now, all that aside, what I really want to juicily talk about, okay, anyway, is that the realization that I know we seem to be in a pickle at the moment. I get that everyone's like, especially in Australia, OMG, we're in a pickle at the moment. But what we've got to remember is at the core of ourselves, we have the ability to absolutely shift anything. Now, what's awakening in us is the remembrance that bringing our intuition on and allowing our logical side of ourselves to understand and acknowledge our intuition and our imagination as part of our integral being, that once that solidifies, it's kind of like if you imagine something, but your logic is going, no way, that can't happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen because both sides of you are you. It's like you have 2 personalities within you learning to get along with each other. And that is the essence. Once the 2 personalities within you, the one that is dreamy and expansive and can see past everything as an innocent child does, who steps into the wonder of amazement and all of that, aligns with the logic of grounding and seeing it in this reality and making it actually happen. Once they start to work together like that figure of 8, a perfect figure of 8, not like the meta wobbly one, once they work together, there's this point where it's like the universe or everything just clicks in and goes, that's what she wants, that's what they want, that's what that person wants. And because we as a soul is mini godlike coming through us, we have the ability through this because they're channeling through me at the moment, through this collectiveness of this coming together within us, to manifest everything in the moment of who we are. Shamans and all that, healers and all of that, whenever they heal something in a person, they imagine it. They imagine it healed. They don't go in and see the problem and try to think logically at how they got to fix it, they actually imagine it healed. Now, you can go out and get specific things to fix that problem so that your story actually makes sense for you in this moment, because the logical brain might need a story to understand how it all works, because the logical brain wants to compartmentalize everything. But eventually you won't even need anything. You can become shaman-like within yourself and heal everything within yourself. You can become shaman-like within yourself and decide, this is the reality I want. Now, this is what's happened, is that, hi, Golden Rainbow, everybody out there is been programmed to believe another person's reality and to feel small within themselves and worthless, that they can't shift anything. And so it is. And so the reality begins of that. But each one of us has the ability to break free of that. And it's like they're showing me there's all these multiple timelines happening and accessible at the moment. So the accessibility of those other timelines is your frequency, what you believe you deserve, how worthy are you powerful, and you know it within your heart that that's not the way you're going to go. I know whenever I've shifted things, I've just gone, nah, that's just not the way it's going to go. It's just not, nah, that's not my story. And as soon as I've done that, the people around me just fall away that are creating the story, that I end up shifting to something else. But what we've got to really be clear on, where do we want to go? What do we really want? What do you really want? What's your biggest wish, your desires of what you really want your reality to look like? Do you want to be surrounded by beautiful friends that support you? Support yourself and know that that energy is bringing those friends in. Do you want to have the love of your life? Love yourself and know that the energy is coming in. Do you want to live in a beautiful, beautiful homestead that has land and you can grow your own plants and you feel free? Breathe in that freedom within yourself. You need to align your reality within you logically and intuitively, to say, this is where I'm going. And that's the magic, that's the key, that's the essence, to remember that we are both sides. We're not going to diminish our logic, because then we can't bring it into this reality, and we can't diminish our intuition. Otherwise, we can't even imagine out of the reality that we're stuck in. Yeah, they did channel through something, a couple of things, and I will read one of them out for you. Okay, this was channeled on the 14th of October. This is going to maybe help you even more make sense of moving into a new frequency where it's going to hopefully, this channeled message will hopefully make sense to your logical side, so that your logic goes, now I get it. Now I understand how it all works with energy and moving into something new. Because a lot of people will go, fifth dimension, this sounds very woo-woo, it's not real. And that's their logical side telling them that. But this channel message might help a little bit more. So, for those who don't understand one's reality could become more than this limited one that we're in, I'd like you to imagine that you can't hear, and sound means nothing to you. So you're born deaf. You've never heard a thing. Then one day you have an operation, or somebody or a shaman comes along and fixes your hearing. Now, all of a sudden, your whole world changes because now you understand music, you understand sound, you understand language. Your whole world has shifted. So it's opened up to a new perspective. It's changed everything in your reality because sound has now come in to your reality. Now imagine the majority of the world being told that they shouldn't listen to their imagination and that their intuition doesn't exist. Sound familiar? Then one day someone who knew that it did opened your mind to the realization that we all have the same brain, and that part of our brain could interpret gut feelings, learn to understand emotions and how to read them, trust subtle bouts of wisdom and just knowingness. That in itself, it would open up your reality to be able to communicate with way more than what you didn't trust before. So you could communicate with your pets, you could talk telepathically to them, because now you've opened up this whole intuitive feeling of, oh my God, now I can feel what my animals are trying to say to me. And we have this, this communication that's able I'm able to respond to them communicating to me, because the first language was telepathy. When we shut down our intuition, there was all these beings that came to Earth to help guide us from that shutdown, and they introduced language. So then language introduced deception, because you could speak one thing and think another. It split our thoughts from our speaking. So once we start to learn our intuition, we start to have the ability to be able to communicate with our animals. And we also become more aware of our thoughts, because you now need to take responsibility for your thoughts and how you are moving through your life. It's not to say that mistakes won't happen and that your emotions might go negative and you could feel into somebody's feeling a bit yucky at that moment. Well, you could either go in and help them shift that to a better outcome, or you could walk away and say, you know what, I don't need that in my life at the moment. But there's different choices that you'd make. But if you didn't know what they were feeling or thinking telepathically, then you could walk in and they're thinking negatively about you. You get a sort of a feeling about it. They start talking this stuff. You start feeling bad about yourself. You both go down. So you've lost power. You've lost some of your power. Anyway, we're going into another subject there. So you have a whole other world change come into your reality and change, all because you finally accepted that there was abilities lying dormant within you that were programmed out of you by others who wanted to control you, and knew that the only way that they could control you was to convince you that your intuition and the power of your imagination is not worthy of even looking into. Because 100 years ago, when they even really went into the educational system, good morning, Zeva Star, when they started to go into the creating that educational system that was going to control people at the beginning of last century, 3 guys got together and they had this meeting, and they decided, I read this in an article that had the names, I'm just terrible at remembering names, and it said that these specific 3 guys that come together said they were going to try to knock imagination out of a child's mind by the age of 12. And then because they said that it wasn't of any use to an adult. And so our educational system has been programmed for us to knock our imagination out, because the imagination can think beyond the program that the controllers are trying to push over us. And imagine them out of our reality. We can literally, once we decide that we have the power within us, once we decide that our logic agrees with our intuition and that we are more powerful, we can literally think put out that vibration that the outside controlling people will fall. We can imagine people in the know waking up, like in the political game or in the police force, waking up. We can imagine them starting to influence those around them, and so forth and so forth. And it becomes a awakening more than a controlling thing. So what they're asking us to do now is to use our imagination again for the benefit of humanity, to wake up everybody. So they woke me up the other day, and they were telling me that I needed to do a chant, a mantra, with many others, because my frequency of my voice and the frequency of your voice, and even your intention, if you don't feel like you've got a very good voice and you don't want to do this, but you want to be involved in it, say on a live Zoom or something of some kind that I'm going to create, and then your intention is absolutely enough. But the vibration of the voices together in unity has this resonance of connecting our hearts together. And then with the right intention, we can shift mountains, we can shift everything. So I'm going to create this beautiful, well, I have actually. I was awake till midnight the other night, and I created a beautiful mantra, because they woke me up with oh, now I've forgotten, but it was a Sanskrit. And I don't even do Buddhism or Tibetan. I don't even know where these words come from or anything, but they put a word in my mind. It meant peace. And I put this beautiful meditation together. I've got a few words on it so that you could follow, and then it just carries on with the same words all the way through. So very, very simple, very, very basic, but to connect us back to our hearts, and gorgeous, gorgeous images. So you can have your eyes open, you can have your eyes closed, but either way, we're all synchronizing ourselves together. And then we're going to step into using that energy to shift the reality that we don't want. We just, see that falling away through our own self-preservation. We're like, we're strong now. We can handle our own creation of what we want to do. And then opening all the hearts of all of those out in the world to be able to access this as well, so that they don't fall into that lower vibrational trap of following a story that they don't even want, because that's what people are doing. And then we're also shifting our vibration to saying to ourselves, they're waking up, instead of putting our vibration out, oh my God, they're gonna be controlled and lost forever and take the apple juice and it's never gonna work, but for all of those that take the apple juice, we could see them being healed, because anything is possible. Remember, we've got to start to see ourselves as magnificent beings that can heal anything, and if they step out of that illusion, they can be healed. Nobody is stuck. That's the problem with that whole feeling of, if they do that, they're stuck. They're never going to get out. That's creating that illusion, that horrible reality. Don't go there. This is your reality. If they decide at any point to get out, then yes, they can be healed, but they have to acknowledge what they've done, where they've given their power away, step into their own power, all of those steps that we've all gone through to be able to become who we are now. So I'm going to put this mantra together, and I'm going to create a event on Facebook, and then with that event, I think we'll make it in a couple of weeks' time. It'll be a Zoom link. Then we can get together or have a discussion on what kind of energy we want to do this with, where we're actually going. And then good morning, Derek. Shante, thank you. Yes. Shante was, yes, that was it. And I've already done it. I've already put it up on my my video that I've created. So I've put it all together. Yeah, very excited about that. Cool thing is too, another good friend of mine over in Ohio, I can't find my words today. He said that he was given the same message on Shante, and both of us aren't religious. We're not into anything like that. It was just something that he was gifted as well. So it's just so cool that we're starting to cohesively come on the same page and create this ability to shift our reality outside of ourselves. Thanks so much, Derek, for that. Yeah, Shante. Shante, yeah. So that's cool. I've created that. It's going to go up. The event will be live. Anyone can come in and chant or sit back and feel the vibration and use it. I have already somebody, another beautiful friend, Holly, who's going to be sitting amongst crystals over in America as well. Her land is on crystals, and she wants to be in the best spot for this. And then she's going to use the vibration to send it through the crystals that she's sitting around, and then send that out to the world as well. I also have a new friend, Campbell from Tataria, and he's interested as well in coming on board and chanting with us too. So yeah, this is huge. This is big, and we're going to make it bigger. So I'm probably going to be doing this in a couple of weeks, but really excited about this one because this is how we're going to shift. I want to do it before mid-December, so it's definitely going to be done before all of that silly stuff comes in. So yeah, as if it's going to. Yay, Derek, for sure. See, every single one of us has this beautiful essence within inside of us. There's not one person bigger than or better than the other. We're all holding this vibe. If we all hold this vibration, we become this unity of love, and then we can send it out to the world and shift anything. Also, just to bring the logical side into it as well, I've literally seen this happen in when I was asked by a Cherokee elder to go to Ohio for a Sundance, and how we all collectively came together and merged our energies. Also, she said it brings in, when we do that, because we're vibrating at such a high level, the higher benevolent beings, the principal people of this reality, the prime creator, starts to go, what's happening there? And it's like, I actually saw massive 3D face in the cloud. It was the realest 3D face I've ever seen looking down on me. It was just like a face came out of the cloud. Massive one, and that was the principal people looking at us, because we had done enough, shifted the vibration of ourselves enough for that to have occurred, and then they come in and help as well. So it shifts everything, and this is how we do it. This is how we start to shift. We have the power within us. We can do this. I know we can do this. So love you guys. Whenever you see this message, bye.